All right, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be doing my first driver education event with the Porsche Club of America. This one is held at Watkins Glen International Raceway. My wife and I came up here a day early, so we're staying at this little bed and breakfast in Montour Falls. I'm sure you could see some of the falls behind us. This is right on the bed and breakfast's grounds that you see this falls behind us. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so please enjoy this video. It's my first time doing a driver education event like this, so I'm going to bring you along for the ride. So let's also see what this Porsche 911 GTS can really do on a track. I'm excited to explore that. I'll fast forward to the next day, so here it comes. All right, my wife and I got up early in the morning, made it over to Watkins Glen track. We arranged to have a garage slot, so we shared the garage with others, but we had an assigned stall, and I think that's an essential thing to do, especially on a hot summer day like we had here. After we registered, we had to line up for tech inspection. Although you had to have a thorough inspection done by an authorized mechanic before you arrived, Porsche Club still requires a visual inspection of your car when you line up and arrive at the track. At this point in time, I have to say I started to get intimidated, like, oh my goodness, I'm about to take my precious GTS out on a track and I don't know what I'm doing. Luckily, they assigned an instructor to you, and I had a great instructor. In this driver education event, we used the full Watkins Glen track. If you ever watch NASCAR on TV, they're not using the full 3.4 mile track. They're using a portion of it. And what they're cutting out is what they call the boot. And the boot is this series of turns that are really interesting and challenging. Some of them are blind apexes going uphill and a lot of elevation change in the boot, and it's just so much fun. And I asked Steve, my instructor, how come NASCAR doesn't use this side of the track? And he suspects that because there's so much bumping and grinding in NASCAR that there could be a lot of mayhem and crashes in this set of turns. And also it's just that maybe NASCAR cars really aren't made to do extreme turns like this. The Porsches are made for this kind of stuff. So our street cars, our Porsches, are able to handle what NASCAR cars can't. That's cool, right? I did some research online and found an article that say that NASCAR officials don't use the boot because it would extend the lap all the way out to 3.4 miles, which would mean that the NASCAR cars would come around the track less frequently. The spectators may not like that. That's probably the other reason why they don't use the boot. And just a little bit more about the track. This is a historic track. This track was, I guess, started in 1956. And I'm a Formula One fan, and Watkins Glen is a former Formula One track. It's no longer used by Formula One anymore, but it is a really challenging track. So I was really excited to have Watkins Glen as my first track experience. That is just one of the best tracks in the country, period. Now, since we were doing the full track, officially the full track has 11 turns. But when you add in the bus stop chicane, I think it goes up to about 13 turns. That's a lot of turns, and they're all extremely different. So I really relied on my instructor, Steve, to guide me through the track for both days. And what he was great about was he was great with his instructions. They were very clear and sharp and quick. And he really advised the best line around each and every turn. All right, listen carefully as Steve gives me instructions on each turn, which are very helpful.
Brake check. All right, slow down. Stay out. Brake a little more. Both brakes turn in. Don't follow him. Good to go. Get over. Both brakes. Stay in. Don't follow him. Good.
right, as you can see, Steve was super helpful getting me around the course properly. And since I'm new at the track, it's very important to learn when to turn in, when to brake, when to lift off. It all sounds so obvious, but it really isn't. My instinct was often to turn in a little too early, which means that I wouldn't hit my apex properly, and then I would track out too wide on the other side of the turn. So he was really teaching me how to brake late, lift off the brake, then turn at the correct time to hit the apex. Also, this is a 911 that I'm driving with the weight of the engine in the back. So obviously you have to go into turn slow and then fast out to avoid that back end swinging around to the front and causing oversteer. So if you go into the turn, brake hard, lift, then turn in, then apply the gas when you're hitting that apex, that's the best way around the track for a 911. All right, here is a pretty quick lap, pretty clean lap without any traffic. Turn up that volume, enjoy the exhaust sound of this 911, but come on back after watching this lap though. There's so much more I gotta tell you, there's so much more. Check it out. All right, so I made a little bit of a mistake there. Oops. So I backed out of it towards the back end here. But when you get it right, it's awesome. When you get that turn right and you hit the apex just right, it's an amazing feeling. It's almost like the car just clicks into rails and it just tracks so smoothly and so quickly through the turn because there's no oversteer, no understeer. It's just perfectly balanced. And the car, you can feel it. You could feel the car feel like it's clicked in on rails at that point. And it just goes right through the turn. You track out to the other side of the turn and it feels fantastic. And it's so addictive. You know you hit it right. You just chase that feeling for the next one and the next one and the next one. It is so much fun in that car. This 911 just feels so good and at home on the track, I tell you. I know this is a GTS and not a GT3 or GT3 RS or GT2, all the track star cars. This is a GTS and it feels amazing on track. I mean, just really amazing. It's got the power, it's got the balance, it's got the handling. It's awesome, it really is. Now I have to say, I prefer driving the car in Sport Plus on the track. That's obviously what Sport Plus is for. There is a noticeable difference between Sport and Sport Plus when you're on the track. Sport is great when you're on a backcountry road, the exhaust is opened up, the shifts are very, very quick, but the speed you're doing on a backcountry road is pretty limited because you're on a public street. But Sport doesn't quite have enough oomph on a track. And I could tell that. So for example, the first 2 sessions I kept it in Sport and the car is very controlled. And yes, the shifts of the PDK were very quick. Now per my instructor, Steve, he wanted me to keep the PDK in automatic throughout all of the sessions. So therefore I had to rely on the computer the PDK to make decisions about when to downshift, when to upshift, and whatnot. There's one turn in particular that was a big right-handing sweeper in the boot that went uphill. It was a blind apex, big sweeper going uphill. And I noticed in sport, the car kind of bogged down going up the hill when I hit the gas. Now, it may be because I hit the gas too late in the apex, too late, but I noticed that the car would hesitate before kicking down gears in order to access the torque higher up in the rev range. Now remember, this is a naturally aspirated 911 GTS, and all of the torque is way up high in the rev range. So this car loves to rev, but there's not a lot of torque down low. So I didn't tell Steve I was doing this. So sorry, Steve, but for the second 2 sessions of that day, I put it in Sport Plus, and there's an immediate change in the behavior of the car. Even going down the front straight in the pit lane, just going down the pit lane, the PDK would hold the revs way up high, and that's where your torque is. So much so that Steve said, you know, are you in manual right now? And I'm like, nope. I'm in, not in manual. And he was like, huh. But it was holding the revs way up high in the rev range. And then when we exited pit lane and I punched it, of course, all of that torque was right there under my foot. Bang, you just shot out like a cannon. But then the other thing Steve noticed, and I noticed it too, but sorry, Steve, I didn't tell you I did this. He started asking, hey, are your tires going off? Are your tires getting greasy? Are you losing grip? I'm like, no, Steve, I'm actually in Sport Plus. And that Sport Plus allows a lot more movement of the car. The nannies do not kick in as early as they do in Sport. In Sport Plus, it allows the driver to be more in control of the car as opposed to the nannies. And the car is looser on track. Now, the nannies are still there. They're still there to protect you, but they're just letting you do more of the driving. And then back to the PDK, when I hit that turn, that blind long sweeper going uphill, boy, that car just kicked down immediately in order to access that torque way up high in the rev band. So the Sport Plus and PDK and automatic is the way to go. It's the fastest way around the track. And it's pretty amazing to witness that. Let's say you're going down the front straight, you slam on the brakes, and in Sport Plus it just bang, 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 bang down in the gears, just keeps right with you, in tune with you. So then when you hit that apex and power out, it's in the perfect gear for you to go up that hill. It's just an amazing experience. So you get more movement of the car, you're more in control, but yet that PDK is incredibly responsive, keeping that engine right on boil so that you can get the most torque and most power to get the fastest speed. It's awesome. Now, on the street, if I'm doing a fun country road drive, I do not keep it in Sport Plus. Sport Plus is too frenetic on public roads. It's just too much. I keep it in Sport, and Sport just tones it down a little bit. Still has the fast shifts, still has the PASM kind of tightened up, but it's just not as frenetic as Sport Plus. Sport Plus is definitely the way to go on the track, and that's what it's for. So for the total day, we had 2 sessions in the morning and 2 sessions in the afternoon for both days. So I don't know how many laps I did, but it was a lot of laps. And that was so great about this event that I really felt like I got a lot of track time.
That apex, good. You feel the back start to come out, you gotta straighten.
So having an instructor in the car for me has been a great experience because it really did teach me a lot and help me build up some confidence because it's intimidating. for my first time, it really is intimidating to be on a track doing these kinds of speeds in your own car. And then you're also with other cars around you on the track, so you have to learn the etiquette and how to communicate with other cars around you so you can safely pass, or that they can safely pass you. So having an instructor in the car to have your back on all those situations really is key. And I found that very, very helpful. So Steve, if you're watching this, you did a great job, dude. Thank you so much. Boy, what a thrill to be in a 911 on a racetrack, doing those kind of speeds, really feeling what the car can do. And again, I'm a beginner at this track thing, but even for me, it was a total thrill, total rush. All right, guys, I'm walking to get some coffee, get some caffeine to stay up for the run today. It's very physical, I have to admit. It's about 84 degrees in the high during the day. It's not quite there yet because we're still early in the morning. It may not even be 70 something. But during the day, you do work up a sweat. It is a workout to drive like this on track. So they say you gotta stay hydrated. So let me keep on that. I probably took this unnecessary step of putting blue tape on the car, painter's tape, to try to protect it from debris hitting up against the car. I have front clear bra on the car, so it's probably unnecessary, but I'm trying to take care of it. Luckily, not a lot of rubber tire debris kicked up on the car, because that can happen. Someone ahead of you can kick it up. So the blue tape also helps prevent that. But if you have paint protection film, it seems to be holding up pretty well. So many guys really came to play. They trailered their cars, extra wheels and tires. You could tell these guys are serious about their track days. Awesome. This is my instructor's car. He can make this car move. You know, sometimes it's not about how much horsepower you have. It's really about the skill you have driving the car that you've got. It can really make this thing move. Towards the end of the whole event, I was really feeling it. I was into it. I was hitting my lines, hitting my apexes, because I was just improving. So much so that I lapped the entire field. My wife was up in the grandstand watching me run, and she was saying, you know, you passed every single car on the track. And some of that is, I wish I could say, was pure driving skill, but it was probably more the GTS. The 2015 GTS with 430 horsepower. This thing is fast. I probably had the fastest car in my group. So I was going up against some 997s, Carrera S's, some 70s Porsches, some Cayman GT4. You know, so clearly my car was the fastest car in the group, and it showed. It really just dominated the whole session. So yes, I did improve greatly in my driving ability, but really this GTS is just plain fast. And let me explain that a little bit. I keep saying my group. Again, I was in the beginners group, and there are a lot of levels way above me that are way more advanced. I've watched some of those guys run, and boy, they know what the hell they're doing. So there's a lot that I have to learn, but that's part of the excitement and part of the thrill of it all. It's just when you get it right, you just get it right, and you progress, and you see the advancement, you see the progression, and it just makes you want to keep going, pushing even further and further. All right, so that was my first experience at a driver education event hosted by the Porsche Club of America. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any advice for me for the next drivers event, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more content, and I'll see you in the next one, everybody. Safe driving, everyone.